So as we think about putting together a system to apply nitrogen with our planter, we know we needed the ability to carry more gallons than we have in the past. And here at 360, we wanted to think about the entire system, how we make it simple so that you can bring the value of nitrogen on the planter into your operation without having to search out other options that were going to complete that entire system. So as we think about carrying more gallons, we thought about tractor tanks, and we never really saw a set out there that we liked. So we jumped in ourselves and took the approach of designing a set of tanks that would give you the ability to carry the gallons you're going to need. So the set you see on this tractor behind me carries 700 gallons. And we've taken the approach of carrying it over the front duals, which gives us several advantages. For one, we're able to keep the width inside the width of the duals themselves. So when it comes to transporting this system down the field, you don't have the added risk of a wider transport than you would have in the past. We've also thought about the balance of carrying extra weight. We know that weight on a tractor can be a big deal when it comes to steering and being able to manage our soil compaction. So spreading that weight out over the front and rear axles was important.
The challenge for all of us is, as we put liquid on our planters, is to understand how do we get enough liquid capacity on the tractor. Obviously we can have it in the center of the planter, but in this case, pretty common, you'll see the elliptical 400-gallon tanks out front. It's then understanding the impact, the advantages and disadvantages of having this much weight out front. Obviously, it's going to increase the front axle load, and all of us have had the experience. I've had them myself, and you get into wet conditions, and all of a sudden it becomes very much a detriment because we've taken weight off the rear of the axle. And so, yes, there's an advantage far as it's easy and simple to mount, but the disadvantages start to come down to yield itself. And we talk about pinch rows of that much weight on this front axle. And so we're having our digital pads. In this scenario, we have 4, 2 under the front and 2 under the rear. And then we can look right here on our base unit and see the impact of that and measure it exactly. So we're empty right now in this 400-gallon tank. We're going to go ahead and put 32% nitrogen in it, and we'll see exactly how much weight we're transferring to the front axle. When we look at a 400-gallon elliptical up front, out on the nose of the tractor, and we put 32% in it, we're adding 4,424 pounds to that front of that tractor. That has quite a negative effect on the balance of the tractor itself. And you can see here that we took 3,500 pounds off the rear of the tractor and transferred that to the front axle, and we actually were able to measure at the digital scales 3,426 pounds in addition, besides the liquid itself. When we compare that to the 700-gallon tanks from 360, it makes quite a difference. There, with the 700 gallons, we have 7,742 pounds that we're adding to the overall tractor. But look at the difference in the balance. We only took 900 pounds off the rear axle and only added 658 additional pounds. So this keeps the tractor in balance and keeps us in the streamline of where we want to be.
So we've designed these 700-gallon tanks to have 350 on each side. This is a solid molded poly tank, as you can see here, and we've plumbed it in a really simple way. There's a valve under each tank that allows us to control how much is filling when you're in the filling operation and maybe unbalanced from either side. We can adjust for that with the valve underneath. We have a 3-inch fill line here on the front that gives you the ability to fill from the ditch bank on this side or being able to fill from the rear, as well as supply the planter with this 2-inch line. Have the ability to adjust that as well. And then another valve on the opposite side to be able to control where you're bringing product from on your system. So as we looked at designing larger tanks to go in tractors, transport width was one of the things that we kept in mind. And we've designed this tank in a way that it stays inside the width of the duals of the tractor itself. So there's no added width when you're going down the road in transport mode. The safety of operating with these tanks is exactly what you've been used to in the past.